Hello, everybody. Welcome to my live stream. My name is Karen or La Karencita, and I'm very excited to have you here. I hadn't planned this live stream. All of a sudden, I just thought, let's have a live stream today. So let's begin. Today is a very special live stream because I will invite my husband. He is from the UK, he's British. He's been living here for about 8 years and he knows one or two things about Mexico. Probably you'll find interesting his experience living in Mexico, cultural shocks of being married to a Mexicana, a Mexican, or cultural shocks about Mexico. So this is going to get spicy. This is going to be very interesting. And let me know, please. I want to know how many people are watching this live stream. Let me know in the comments. Is your moment to write comments in the chat. There will be a Q&A session, and you'll be able to ask Dave everything you want, respectfully or uncomfortably, fun as you want. So I set a goal. Hopefully, if you find any of this information interesting, you can send super chats. And when you send a super chat, it depends. I don't know how much YouTube asks for this super chat. But I will read your question out loud. I will mention your name. I will say thank you, everybody, for being here. And I hope that you find this information useful, which is the goal of this live stream. So I already set the goal. Hopefully we reach the goal of 10 super chats, I think it's called. So let me see, there's people already, Let's build the momentum so Dave can come. so Cindy, okay, we have James. And where is your husband from? Well, I repeat, if you're arriving, I will have my husband here. He's from the UK, from the West Midlands. Cindy, hi, Karen and Dave. James, okay, James already has questions. Let me see how many, if there are more people, if we can gather more people, that would be good. We have James, we have Joseph, as always. Thank you very much, Joseph. How many people do we have? Do you know?
9 people.
9 people watching. Okay, 9 people. It's good. Today, by the way, I released a video today in the morning about some houses that I visited here around this town. Right now, I'm living in the state of Hidalgo in central Mexico. This is in a very touristy state, and I was talking about the differences in prices when you buy a house in areas like this one, which aren't as cosmopolitan areas compared to big cities like Mexico City, Monterrey, Cancun, and you might have some interesting comments about that. So let me see, what else? So let's see. Okay, we have Teresa. Welcome, Teresa. Thank you very much for being here. I'm very excited for this. I'm very nervous, actually. I'm very nervous about this live stream because I don't know how this is going to go. This is just for us to have a fun conversation, and I think we'll have it. I am definitely excited about having this conversation. So let me see. We have Grisel. Oh, thank you. She says, I was looking your earlier video. Very good information. The country looks nice. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad that you enjoy it. I had fun making that video too. So, what about if I invite Dave, my husband, to this conversation? I think, yeah, we are ready. The important people are the people who are here. So let's bring Dave. Where is Dave? Welcome. Bienvenido.
Oh, thank you very much. Okay.
So let
Yes, so I can sit here and everybody can see me, so that's good.
yeah, well,
Yes.
the important thing is that they can hear you. So let us know. Let me know in the comments if we can hear as well. We are trying this microphone, and I don't know.
I think it'll be okay.
Yeah.
I was listening on my phone and it
And
seemed like
yeah,
it's coming
it's
through okay, so yeah.
okay.
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 Lovely.
Well, let me see. You already have some questions
I know,
in
I
the
saw,
chat,
yeah.
but let's introduce you a little bit.
Okay.
Well, I already told them you are from the UK. You are living here in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Before we start, I have a simple question for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you could describe Mexico in just one word, what word would you use to describe Mexico in one word?
Mágico. Because it's always Mexico, Mágico, right? And like, obviously there's lots of like very nice things and it's like a tourist phrase and they have the magic towns and all of that, which are very nice. But also like in the online with the memes and stuff, whenever you see just like weird stuff or even like bad stuff that you think like only in Mexico, and people will say like ironically Mexico, Mexico, right?
Yeah,
So,
this only happens in Mexico, Mágico.
yeah, so it's kind of like when I hear it now, because I've seen so many of the memes and stuff, it seems like a two-sided kind of thing. Like Mexico's kind of unique in a lot of very nice ways and also some not so nice ways, or frustrating ways maybe.
Yeah. That's a good answer, actually. I wasn't expecting that. It seems that you're immersed in the culture. I can see that, definitely. Okay, tell us a little bit about you. Introduce yourself. What would you say about you?
Right, well, I am very fortunate to be Lacarecita's husband. So yes, I live with her.
I didn't ask him to say that.
I'm British and I'm from the UK, I'm from the middle of the UK, from a town called Stourbridge, which we visited a few weeks ago. But I've been in Mexico. Well, I first came to Mexico in 2016. I moved here in early 2017, and except for when we've gone off and stayed in other places for a few months at a time, I've been here since. So yeah, and when I first came here, I was working as an English teacher, so that was kind of one of the reasons for coming to start and coming here in the first place and being able to get started working and all of that. It was before COVID. It was before there weren't so many like digital nomads and things in those days. Like that was kind of like there were people doing it, right? But it didn't seem like an achievable thing back in those days. So I was teaching English, and then during the pandemic, I started working as a software developer, and now, yeah, I'm more like a digital nomad.
In Mexico.
Except we don't move around that much, really.
Okay, so very interesting stuff that might help people, or probably people I've seen in my YouTube channel. That people ask questions, direct questions to you about how is it like to being an English teacher in Mexico, what's the experience with that. Probably many people will, some people will have some questions about that. But also one thing that it's very interesting is that you left, well, you came from the UK and you decided to start your life here not as a, obviously you are young, you weren't retired, you just decide, I'm going to...
Definitely not retired.
You just decide, I'm going to live here. Probably that was a challenge, moving, well, for everybody, I imagine, when you're moving to another country.
Well, moving was kind of easy enough, I suppose. I found a job online and came, and it wasn't a very good job, but you know, I found it and I came and I started working there and they got me a visa and stuff. So yeah, there's lots of things about that which aren't very nice, but it wasn't difficult. I just kind of did it and accepted like a bad job which facilitated that.
What is a bad job? What is a bad job in Mexico from your perspective?
Okay. Well, it's a long time ago now, so the numbers seem worse than they actually are, but they weren't very good at the time. So the job that I was offered was it was 90 pesos an hour, and I remember I had this deal with them where I was going to get paid 9,000 pesos a month, which now would be like $500 maybe. It was I mean, I think you'd really struggle to live off that now. It's just a little bit higher than the minimum wage at the moment. Back then it was a little bit better. It was manageable. I mean, I survived, but it was just kind of a way to get my foot in the door, and I did it for like 6 months. But it was really bad job. Quite easy, but poorly paid, and lots of travelling and long hours and stuff.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, okay, interesting information. Let's see, what do you think if I think there's more people.
Okay,
I want to read who is here, and yeah, let's see. And thank you everybody for connecting. This is fun. This is fun. Let's see. We have Joshi. I haven't seen you. Matangi, Cobbles in the house. Dave, we can hear you well. We can't hear you.
You can't hear me well.
No,
okay.
no.
I'll talk louder then.
Or maybe you.
Okay, we'll move the microphone a little bit closer to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pamela, welcome. James, did you have Spanish in high school? Okay, well, in a bit you'll answer that. Yeah, Dave needs to be louder. Another Cindy is saying so.
Okay, I'll talk louder. Yes. Sorry, Cindy.
Okay. Well, there's a few people here. Let's see. Okay. Well, let's answer this question that James is asking to you. You came to Mexico. Did you speak Spanish when you come to Mexico?
Yes, I could speak Spanish when I came to Mexico. Definitely.
How did you learn?
How did I learn? Well, when I started what would be high school, we call it college in the UK. So when I was 16, I took it as like an optional subject. I'd done French and German at school, and I enjoyed them. And then at high school, I chose to just do English, French, German, and Spanish. And then from there, that was my degree was in Spanish. And I went to live in Spain for a bit. I went to live in Colombia, which is where we met. And yeah, so all of this had happened before coming to Mexico. So I was pretty good at Spanish.
Yeah, you had a lot of time to practice your Spanish, no? Basically.
I had, yes. I'd already lived over a year in Spanish-speaking countries by that point.
Yeah, so you came to Mexico and you understood everybody, so that wasn't a problem, definitely.
Not really, no. I mean, I had to get used to the Mexican phrases and stuff, so... but yeah.
Yeah, I remember when you arrived here in Mexico and you had your first job and you were earning that amount of money, because teachers in Mexico, or at least not like, we know that teachers aren't paid well in Mexico. Mm-hmm. And when you arrived here in Mexico, I thought, wow, this is a huge movement for Dave, because you are deciding to develop your profession because you studied that. Mm-hmm. You studied to be a teacher, and then you come here and probably you realize that probably this isn't the way that you would want to live forever, probably.
Yes, I think that's fair. So yeah, because I'd done a master's in teaching English, so I should have been able to get like a good job, and then but when I came, I was still finishing that off and doing my dissertation and stuff, so I kind of justified the situation by saying like, well, just see how it goes, and when I graduate and I have a master's degree, then see what else is available and stuff. And it doesn't really count for anything here. Teaching is not well paid. Generally, I mean, I'm sure there were like a few opportunities out there, but yeah, generally it wasn't very useful. And then that was the reason why. But most people probably don't know that we were living in Vietnam, and you have lots of videos from Vietnam from several years ago now.
Yeah, well, that's a good information.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going
Oh,
right
sorry.
away
Okay,
to Vietnam.
sorry.
No, it's fine. Just let me see. Can you
Okay.
hear us well? Let us know in the comments as well, because we're speaking, we're talking, and this is important. Let's say, please let us know in the comments if you can hear us, if you can hear Dave, if you can hear me. So far, we have Edward Peterson. He is a member of the
He's
channel.
become a member. Oh,
He's
thank
become
you
a
very much.
member.
That's very
Thank
nice
you
of
very much, Edward. That's cool. Thank you. Okay. So we have more people. Yes, they are saying that they can hear us
Okay,
well.
excellent.
And I have, so let me ask this question that Manuel Alvarado is asking, because everybody asks you this question.
Okay.
And I want people to see Dave's reaction. So the question is, what football team do you follow from Europe and from the Mexican League?
I don't follow any football team anywhere. It's a problem because that's what everybody's going to always ask me, and I should at least learn a little bit to lie and pretend that I know something about it. I don't. It doesn't interest me, and it's always very uncomfortable when people ask me that because I disappoint them.
So, so yeah, that's a good thing from you. So let's see. So you mentioned Vietnam. You were working here, and then what happened?
What happened?
Why did we go to Vietnam, for the people who don't know?
Well, because I got this master's in teaching English, and it's not really worth very much in Mexico, but in Asia, there's good markets, or there were at least at the time, good jobs for teaching English, and they pay for your flights and your accommodation and stuff like that. And I said to you, probably I could make the same as we were both making together, but we'd be in a different country, and it'd be fun and a bit of an adventure. So it was kind of an excuse to take advantage of my qualifications, which weren't very much used here in Mexico, basically.
So that's why we decided to go to Vietnam. That's how our digital nomad lifestyle started, and that's how I started teaching Spanish online even before the pandemic. So I remember that when the pandemic happened, we were working online already. So it didn't affect us too much. Actually, we had more work, fortunately. And then we decided to go in the pandemic. During the pandemic, we decided to come back to Mexico. We went to the UK for a few weeks, and then we came to Mexico to settle down again, and we chose Queretaro, the city of Queretaro. So at that point, you were working as a programmer.
Yes. So when we were stuck in Vietnam and we couldn't go out, and it was a long story. I was without work, and I started to find some freelance jobs as a programmer, and it was like a good time to do it because a lot of people were hiring remote workers at the time, and it took off. And then by the time we came back to Mexico, it was just made more sense to keep doing that than to go back to teaching.
Okay, excellent. So which was good because we were working from home, definitely. Okay, before we continue, I just want to remind you guys that you can ask questions. I'm asking about Dave's story just for you guys to know a little bit of his background, and then you can have an idea of what questions you want to ask. It can be about anything, about probably your culture shock with Mexicans, food in Mexico, whatever you want to ask. This is the moment. Remember as well that we moved to Tula, Hidalgo, my hometown. Tula, Hidalgo is it's a city. It's considered a city.
It's a city, yeah.
A very small city. It's not cosmopolitan. It's not colonial. It's not, let's say, honestly, it's not beautiful, honestly. It has one thing. It has the pyramids.
It has a refinery.
Yeah.
One of the most important refineries in the country.
In Latin America, even.
In Latin America,
Even, yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you're really into
Refineries. Gas.
Tula's very important for that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you have a super
We have a super chat. Super chat, no?
Okay.
Super chat from Dave Bacon.
Excellent name.
$10. Thank you. Gracias. Gracias. Okay. It's a good thing that I'm inviting you. Okay, thank you, Dave. Do you have any question? Drop it now and I can read it. Otherwise, we have a few questions, but I will increase the tension a little bit.
Okay.
So just tell us a little bit more of Querétaro when you were in Querétaro. And then it's going to be interesting to hear the transition to this small city, because I imagine, I feel it, there's some differences between big cities and small cities in Mexico. So that might be interesting to hear. So tell us about Querétaro. Why Querétaro? Why did you like Querétaro? Why did we choose to stay in Querétaro?
Well, you were living in Querétaro when I first went, so that was kind of the main reason. But it was nice. I was very impressed the first time I went. I went in December the first time, and the weather in Querétaro in December is it's sunny. It's not super hot. But it's warm and sunny and it's nice. And I was like, this is great if it's sunny all year round. And the centre is very beautiful. I'd never heard of it before, so I think that kind of was part of the surprise. If you don't have expectations and you just go to a place you're like, oh, this is really nice, then it's better than going somewhere and having high expectations and then maybe it doesn't live up to them. So yeah, and we just stayed there. You were working there, I was working there, and then when we came back from Vietnam, it seemed like the logical place to go back to because we knew people there. It's not too far away from your family.
No.
Either, so.
Can you describe a little bit of the city of Querétaro for the people who haven't been? Yeah.
Okay. So Querétaro is a very interesting city, really, because the centre of it is very, very old. It's like 1500s stuff. The oldest buildings are old colonial buildings. So the centre is quite large, and there's lots of old Spanish buildings from the colonial times. And then in the last sort of 20-30 years, it's expanded enormously. Now it's sort of one of the most important cities in the country. So there's this very traditional, beautiful old centre, which is kind of like a small town feel. It's quite touristy and it's nice. And then outside of that, it's like this big, very modern city. It's a wealthy city. It's safe. There's a lot of jobs there. The reason that it's growing so much is that there's so much industry and people move to Querétaro from other parts of the country because there are well-paying jobs there.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons that I chose Querétaro, because it has job opportunities. It has, and also the center of Querétaro is beautiful. It's very peaceful. And it's very colonial, colorful, very, you can enjoy both sides of Mexico, no? In Querétaro. So let me read some questions. Probably people have some questions about probably life in Querétaro, or culture shocks about arriving in Mexico and living in Mexico the first years, because we should remember that when you live in a country for the first few years, it's like a roller coaster. That's a word? There's a point where you find everything that is incredible, and then you settle down. Yeah, settle down is a word, to reality, or you start seeing the reality of Mexico. So that you have some ideas for you. You have ideas, guys, so you can ask questions. So let's read. We have Pamela. Before Pamela, sorry. Gerardo is asking, ¿tendrían una vivencia mejor en Vietnam? Would you have a better life in Vietnam? Because it's cheaper than in Mexico. Um, yeah, that's
It is cheaper now. I mean, if it stayed the same, Mexico since then has got much more expensive. So when we went, it was like a bit cheaper than Mexico, but Mexico was really cheap in those days.
yeah.
And now that's changed. So yeah, I mean we'd have more money, but there's the pollution was pretty bad. The language is very hard, and we didn't try as hard as we should have to be good at that and to integrate. So there's different qualities that you need to take into account. But definitely in terms of money, yeah, it's very cheap.
Yeah, but not all is money, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. We prefer just coming to Mexico and enjoy the lifestyle here in Mexico. Let's say Pamela is asking, was Querétaro always your first choice when you returned to Mexico? Well, when we returned, I guess, no, from Vietnam. Yeah, I want to hear it from you because you're my special guest today, and then I can answer.
Kind of, but not really. I think that we've been in a consistent state of trying to work out if we wanted to go somewhere else. And we've discussed it lots and lots of times and trying to, change things up. We spent a lot of time in Querétaro. But when we came back, it was a pandemic, so things were limited in terms of what you could do. Things were a little less certain, and Querétaro is what we knew, so it kind of made sense. And then when we came back, the character of the city changed. Like a lot of digital nomads, a lot of retirees started coming. Your channel became popular, and then that became a whole thing. So
yeah, it was a time where obviously we said the pandemic situation, and I think many people from the United States were coming, and because they found some of my videos on YouTube channel. I'm not saying it's all mine, but at that time I remember there were some other YouTubers living in Querétaro, and I guess that helped a few people choosing Querétaro as a city to live. And yeah, I remember that there was a wave of foreigners in Querétaro at that time. Okay, so next question. Okay, there's another question fast. What type of programming do you do, Dave? It says Java, C++, Python. Is it for cybersecurity or something else?
I'm a full stack web developer, mostly Python and TypeScript, but also other things. I'd be very happy to talk about it a lot, but I'm sure the vast majority of the people watching would be very bored if I did that. So.
Let me explain. Okay, let's continue with the questions. I don't understand this. What speed broadband are you? You have intermittent buffering.
Okay. Yeah, we're on Starlink, so it should be good, but it's not always great. It's a bit disappointing, to be honest. Let's see. We need to get an Ethernet cable for the live streams.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's coming through the door and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been having a problem too. Yeah. It wasn't working.
I'm going to open the door so we get a little bit more. I'll move the router a little bit closer.
Just let us know if you can watch us better now.
There we go. That might be a little bit better, but.
Okay. Well, let's continue with another question. Did you know? Well, I'm gonna read it.
Okay. Yes.
Did you know quite a few Texans who travel to Mexico?
Yeah, we know several, right? Yeah, they have direct flights from Dallas Fort Worth, I think, so directly to Querétaro. So it's like really easy and cheap for them. So makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, so do you get a 180-day visa or have they been them due to the migrant trains. Sorry.
I believe that the 180-day visas is still a thing. I know that sometimes they're a bit more or less strict, but I've been a resident for a long time now, so I don't. Well, I just have a permanent residency, and that's it.
Okay. Well, Kevin, who was asking that question, is watching from Ireland.
Ireland.
3 a.m. in the morning. Thank you.
That's dedication.
Yeah. Okay. So let me see. I wrote a question for you.
Okay.
So just to relax and stop a little bit with the story. Can you remember your first culture shock in Mexico?
I don't know. I can't remember, to be honest. I remember when we went to Actopan and we had I had barbacoa for the first time, and I remember that being a bit weird because you have the food shared in the middle and everybody grabs a tortilla
and you were like, what?
I think I needed some help from you to know what to do.
And I didn't give it to you?
Probably you did it because I ate.
You ate. Yeah, the thing with the barbacoa, which is lamb cooked in a hole. Actually, I think you really like that food. It's common to put a big plate in the middle of the table, and then with a tortilla we grab the meat, and we just eat it in tacos. So probably, yeah, you're saying that you were confused, a little bit confused. Okay, so let's see. Okay, there's nothing there. Let me see.
Joseph's given you a super thanks.
Joseph, thank you very much, Joseph, for the super thanks. If you have any questions, drop it below, please. So I'm gonna give you a heart. So we were living in Queretaro since we came from Vietnam to the year 2024, right? Mm-hmm. And then it was very nice in Querétaro. We made some friends. We basically had all our life there. And then we decided to leave Querétaro. Mm-hmm. And we came to Tula, Hidalgo, which is the place where I was born. Right now, we are living here in the house that I bought many years ago. And I would love to hear how do you feel with that change so far? At the beginning, tell us.
Well, it's been a big change. It's quite a different kind of place, a very different kind of place overall. So Tula's, it is a city, definitely, but it's like 100,000 people, so it's not a big city, and it's not cosmopolitan. It's not touristy. There are a few foreigners, but they tend to be like Colombians or something like that. Yeah, I haven't seen any like Americans here.
No.
Anything like that.
No.
Which you wouldn't think would make that much of a difference, because Querétaro is obviously the vast majority of the people there are Mexican people and stuff. So why would it be any different? But I think it's kind of like the Querétaro is very industrial, but there's also a lot of like professional opportunities. A lot of professional people move to Querétaro when they've like finished university to get like a job in an international company and stuff like that. And it's a very wealthy city, whereas here it's a lot poorer, and there's not kind of that kind of economy here. So like I don't think there's like a lot of people work in the refinery, or there's a lot of agricultural workers, but there's not really like a very dynamic economy with like lots of young urban professional people. So that's kind of the character of the town is quite different as a result of that.
Yeah, now that you mentioned that, one of the things that I wanted to do personally was when I turned 18 years old, I went to the university in the capital of the state, which is Pachuca, and then I didn't think of coming back to work here in Tula, because I knew that I wasn't going to find a job in in the field that I wanted to work. So I already knew, I need to go out. I went to Mexico City, and probably like me, not probably, many people decide to do the same still. So let's say that older generations stay here and they come and visit their parents. So that's what they do. Um, so let me see. Okay, there's nothing. Yeah, not everything is. Uh, no worries. They talk about Starlink. Sometimes.
Yeah, we need to get the Ethernet thing, because the Starlink's pretty fast, but then it's the Wi-Fi from the router to the laptop isn't always the best. So.
Yeah, well, let us know if you can hear us well and watch as well. So that's one of the. What do you think that has a consequence, or there's a difference in the lifestyle having these young people who left Tula, a city like Tula, and go find another job? There's a difference compared. Well, you obviously talked about the differences in the industrial sector, but in lifestyle, what about in the?
Yeah, well, I think if people have just generally got more more disposable income, then the businesses that pop up to satisfy those needs are different, right? So Queretaro or like Mexico City, we were just in Roma Norte. There's like loads and loads of nice cafes, lots of nice restaurants, lots of like leisure activities. Like we went to a comedy club yesterday in Mexico City. But obviously all of these things cost money, and you need to have some extra money every month to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Whereas, if there's not such a thriving economy, then there's not going to be that many of those businesses. We found like a very, very nice coffee shop here in Tula, but there's just one.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of really nice restaurants, like fancier restaurants, but most of the food is like more casual, right?
Yeah, street food stalls which are nice, but yeah, it's not the vibe isn't like in Mexico City that, as you said, there's a lot of hipster places, I would call them, and obviously life feels slower here. You don't feel that there's much happening here.
There's not much happening. I'm sure it doesn't feel that slow to the people who are waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go and work in a refinery every day. But
yeah, you don't even have time to think about that.
Yeah, right.
Do you feel bored here?
Sometimes, definitely. We've had a lot of work. We've had our projects, and we've remodeled the house, and we've done lots of things. But yes, it's definitely a lot more boring in Tula compared to somewhere like Queretaro. Right?
Well, it's different, definitely. It's the life is quiet here. We have some advantages like having our own place, our home, where we focus very much on work. So that's cool, definitely. And we have the advantage of working from home. So we have more time to probably watch movies, cook. That's our activities. And one thing that we just did, like you were saying, we went to Mexico City. That's an advantage because it's not as far from Tula. We just take a bus, and it's maximum 2 hours depending on the traffic, and then you just go and do activities. So that's a good balance. Actually, I think that it was a good refresh. Can I say that we just went this weekend, so that was nice. Let's see if we have some questions.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay. Okay, Nick, I'm going to read this because he is giving me a compliment.
Okay.
You're a cute couple, and sir, you have a beautiful wife.
I do.
I'm just reading this.
No, you read, yes.
We have a good question here, and I'm going to read it because that's what I promised at the beginning of this chat. at the beginning of this live stream. So remember to drop your questions about anything. Do it now. And we have we have a goal. Let's see if we can collect. What was the word? Sticker. What was the word?
The super chats.
The super chats.
I'm
The
just
super
going to
chats.
change the network on this because maybe it'll be a little bit more reliable. Oh, we're on the 2.4. Oh, okay, yeah, I can see why the quality's not being good.
Question.
Okay.
Are you close to the city center? Are there areas where you can walk to the store, for example, restaurants nearby? How possible is it to live without a car? It's a good question.
In Tula?
I guess in Tula, because you were talking about Tula.
Yeah, you can definitely live without a car. There's lots of, there's small buses that they call combis, which are like private buses, like a little minivan that does lots of stops and goes along the common routes. At the moment, we don't have a car because there's something wrong with it, so we're living without a car quite easily. But yeah, there's lots of nice towns nearby and nature and stuff, which is a little bit less practical to get to without a car. But day to day, yeah, I just walk to the market. It's like 15 minutes away.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah,
that's an improvement compared to Queretaro, right? Because it's smaller. Then
you don't need to.
Parking isn't an issue. Walking to buy stuff is easy.
Yeah. You remember when we arrived, you were saying that. How can I find a place to park my car in the center? But obviously, it's small. Everything is smaller. So, Matangi is asking, my intonation isn't good. This is difficult. Having just been in Europe for a few months, is there anything you miss from there? Or did you really miss anything from Mexico?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely did. I think so. We made a bit of a mistake with how we did the trip to Italy. I think, and that was, we were quite uncomfortable there in certain ways. So that obviously makes you miss your own house where you've got like nice things and. The pasta and everything is lovely, but I don't know, pasta every day is a bit much. So I was missing like after being here for such a long time. Something's happened. Are we still on?
I'm sorry. What's happening?
No. Okay.
Once this second, no.
Hang on. No, I think we're on.
What happened?
There's something going on with your computer, but
with your computer.
My computer. Okay.
Okay, it's sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
We thought we had lost it.
Yeah, so we're definitely missing the comforts of here, and this is home. This is what we're used to. So if you feel a bit uncomfortable somewhere else, then you're going to compare it to what you're used to. But at the same time, I think when we were in the UK, we were very comfortable there. It was nice. I mean, the weather wasn't great, but we felt really comfortable there, and I don't think we were particularly missing Mexico. But also, it's the first month of the trip.
It's the first month. You're excited about. I mean, the UK is your country. It's not like we were in a whole different country. You have your family, friends. So at least myself, I felt very welcome. We were living comfortably in a house. We had our spaces as well, a kitchen to cook. We were living there basically. So we were going to the supermarket, and at some moment I asked myself. I mean, I asked myself, would this be a good life? But obviously you feel comfortable, you're excited about that, but that I get to the point of asking that myself because I was feeling very comfortable. And as you said, in the second month in Italy, obviously we had a good time, but we wouldn't do it like that again. It was very long. And even though we enjoy living in other countries, like the experience, going to the supermarket and let's see what we can buy here. I don't know if you enjoy these things as well, or just let's go for a walk and let's pretend we're living here and how we can how easy we can make friends as well. That's important, obviously. Um, by the way, it wasn't as easy, no? Making friends in no in Naples. We were in Naples.
Yeah.
Even I mean, we were traveling as well. We were going to Rome. We went to France to visit some friends. So it gets difficult to make two things at the same time. Making friends and traveling, it gets complicated. So, okay, did you?
Yes.
Sorry.
I said no.
Okay, let me see if we have more questions. Let me go. It seems there's some questions.
Lots of questions. I can see
anything. So Dave is asking, he doesn't know the backstory. Why did you move there? Well, we already mentioned it at the beginning. Do you want to say it?
What, to Tula? Well, you didn't say why we moved to Tula.
We didn't say. To
No.
Tula, you mean my hometown? Well, the way I will say it, perhaps you will complete this information. Many years ago, probably more than 12 now, I decided to bought the house where we are living right now. In this house, my mother used to live. At that time, my mother was selling this house, and she offered the house to me. I decided to buy it. I had a credit in an organization which is called Infonavit. It's not a bank. It's how can I call this?
It's part of social security. It's a government mortgage that workers are able to get via social security. So it's kind of it makes mortgages more accessible to working
people. Yeah. So I decided to use my credit and I bought this house. We didn't want to come and live here in Tula because we were in Queretaro. We went to Vietnam. We went back to Queretaro. But last year we said, we have a house in Tula. Why?
Yeah, well, we were a bit sick of spending money on rent. We tried to buy in Queretaro once. It didn't work. And the rents were getting more expensive, and we could have tried it again, but we weren't too sure. And I said, well, we have a house, we could just live there, and so that was kind of it.
We said everything is close anyway. Querétaro isn't as far. Mexico City isn't as far. We can go and visit there once a month, but we realized that doesn't happen as easy. There's more things that are always happening. But yeah, that's why we moved here to Tula. It's called Tula. Let's see. Okay, that Amanda is asking, how much of a culture shock was visiting England after time away? By the way, how many years did you go? When was the last time?
It had been 5 years since we were back in the UK. So we haven't been to the UK since the pandemic.
Since the pandemic, and in the pandemic we were just a month, 2 months.
About 6 weeks or something like that. I can't remember.
And before that, well, you haven't been in your country for
5 years.
For 5 years, but you left the UK. How old were you when you left for the first time?
For the first time, 19.
19. So from there, would you say that your life is like that? You just go and back.
Yeah, pretty much. As an English teacher, I was living in Colombia and in Japan and stuff. So yeah, I spent a lot of time outside of the UK.
Okay. Do you have any culture shock, as Amanda is asking?
I was surprised that there were so many electric cars. I remember that, every other car seemed to be electric there, so that was good. I think I was expecting things to like not work as well because they're having like a cost of living crisis and everybody's very unhappy with the government and stuff. But compared to Mexico, everything just worked amazingly well all the time. So everything seemed like very clean and orderly and functional and stuff. So, so I think it's all relative, right?
Yeah, one thing that we were enjoying was the train system. Really, really, it's easy to go everywhere, basically. Um, yeah, okay, let's see more questions and then we continue. Okay, next question.
Yes.
What is the best advice your husband can give to any foreigners who want to live in Mexico? That's a good one. And how could how could they break their old ideology and embrace a new one in Mexico? That's a good one.
Break the old ideology.
The old ideology. What does that mean?
I don't know. I'll interpret it how I want because it's quite vague. I think it depends a lot on the time of life that you are in. Like a lot of people come as retirees, right? And they already have their money. So like by making more money or that kind of thing isn't a factor. So and that's one of the things that's kind of more difficult in Mexico. Salaries can be a lot lower and working conditions can be worse. So for somebody like that, like they just come and there's not really much to do. If they like it, they can stay. If they don't like it, they can leave. Whereas like if you're younger and you have to build your life and think more about these kind of practical things and like so we're going to buy a house and what's the best decision, things like the mortgage interest rate here is 12%, so that means that attitudes towards investing in property are totally different, or you need to reassess your approach to that compared to in other countries. Likewise, like the state isn't going to look after you here. So that's I think the biggest thing for me. Like when I came, coming from the UK, you have the NHS, you have a state pension, if you have kids, and they have free schools and stuff. And like here, in theory, some of that stuff exists, but in practice, no. And the government is kind of definitely like when you're trying to get some like your visa sorted or any other kind of thing that you need to do with the government, you definitely don't get the impression that the government is on your side or the government is there to help out if you need it. So so I think that for me was definitely a big thing to get my head around. Like you sort of on your own and there's opportunities, but if you don't take advantage of them, then that's on you.
Yeah.
But if you come and you're retired, then your situation is totally different because you're already comfortable and stuff. And for those people, I suppose the difficult thing is like the electricity stops working and then the person that you call doesn't come, which is incredibly frustrating. It happens to everybody, but if you're retired, then that's the only thing that you need to worry about. So
it can be easier
Yeah.
for yeah. One thing that I would like to mention, obviously, it's probably perhaps something that many people wouldn't imagine, is that when I got married, when we were started to live together, I noticed that you thought of these things of how can we interest rate here in Mexico to buy a house, it's very high, and I was like, I was always kind of confused because I was very high compared to what my perception was. It's only Mexico. This is the way we live in Mexico, and this is how it needs to be. Why are you even starting to compare? And you always had a different point of view, another perspective, which I found at the beginning difficult. I definitely didn't understand. I just thought the things that are done things are done this way in Mexico, and that's the only way that it should be. And then you showed me that other part of comparing it with the UK. We went to the UK when we went this summer. I could even appreciate more your your point of view. As you said, in the UK, you have a pension, social healthcare is free. I don't know. You feel I don't see that people feel more. Maybe I'm wrong. Protected, quiet. And here in Mexico, maybe you've noticed, guys, that a lot of people is always trying to build something, to be an entrepreneur. Because it can be easy, actually. There's many you can do it if you want. No, in Mexico, as we say, Mexico is a country of opportunities, but people are always looking for something to do. And I believe it's because we are enthusiasts definitely, but it's also, it's like, well, if you really want to do something else, if you want to earn probably more money, start a business. That's the attitude, right?
Yeah, that was one of the things that really impressed me, because we were kind of late 20s. I can't remember how old was I when I came here, like 27.
27.
And all of your friends were talking about, like, oh, I've got this job, but I'm starting this business, or my plan is to start a business. And everybody had like a side hustle or something. And you did at the time. You'd started a business, and I thought that was very impressive, because it wasn't something that I saw a lot around me in the UK. But it kind of makes sense now, because one thing there's a lot more grey areas. People maybe don't comply with absolutely all of the rules when they're first setting up the business, and then if it kind of works out, then they can start doing things properly. Whereas I think, like, in Europe, things are more strictly regulated.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's kind of like there's a need. It's like, if I don't, I need to do something, because what I'm getting paid at the moment, or what I'm likely to get from my main job is not going to be enough. And my grandmother is sick, and I need to pay for her to go to the hospital, and like my kids' schools are going to be really expensive, and so
much pressure.
There's a lot of pressure. But I think the good thing out of that is that there's kind of an ambition here that, for better or worse, isn't so prevalent in the UK.
Yeah, I noticed that. So it seems we have some questions. Okay. I'm going to read a few. Let's see. Okay, what are good ways to meet women in Mexico?
I wouldn't know. I haven't spoken to another woman for years, so I'm married. But I have it on good authority that there are women, so I'm sure that they're all very lovely and keen to meet you.
The apps, guys. The apps, Jose. You can do this. Okay. Let's see. Mexico City town, 20 million. That's 3 times the pop of Ireland. Makes London, New York City, etc. look small. Okay. Kevin was saying that the video is 90% good. Okay.
Well, we'll improve that for next time. But unfortunately, I think this is the situation that we've got for today. So apologies for that.
Oh, his microphone is not working.
I've been trying to be closer to the microphone since I saw that comment. So.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for being here. And if you like this live stream, we can repeat it more often. Just let us know in the comments. Okay. Are there job opportunities for foreigners in business in Mexico?
Yes, of course. Many. It's an enormous country with lots of manufacturing and lots of businesses. I've never struggled to find work. So yeah, lots of jobs, I suppose.
Okay. Let's see. How far is your home from Querétaro?
About 2 hours, door to
Uh-huh.
door, probably, if we're driving. Maybe a little bit longer on the bus.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We'll see. And this is a good one. Pamela is asking, do you see yourselves either moving to or having a home in Colombia one day? Colombia.
It's a good question.
It's
What
a
do you
good
think?
question.
What do you think?
Well, first of all, for those who don't know, we have a connection in Colombia. First of all, because we met in Colombia. Secondly, we've been to Colombia since 2023, and we stayed there for more than 1 month. Actually, we really like it there, especially one city called Manizales. It's very. I think it's a city. It's quiet. It's not as quiet. It's um, safe, clean.
Very safe, very clean.
We have a few friends there, and that's important, I guess. I guess. So we really want to go back again, but living there. This is a good question because I would say we don't have the answer. I Before you answer, where every time I go, I really enjoy it. I really feel there's at peace. I feel very nice there, very comfortable, and I think you feel the same.
Yeah, Manizales is lovely. Colombia in general is great. Very, very friendly people. We like it. Yeah, maybe we'll live there some point.
It's a huge decision, actually.
Yeah.
It's we don't even we've been talking about because we like to talk about obviously things that we will do in a near future. We mentioned Colombia at some point. Um, at some point, I also this is just a dream or something that I would like to do. I'm not saying I will do it, but I could get a passport from Spain just because I'm Mexican and they have a benefit that if I live there for 5 years, I think I can get my citizenship. That would be nice to have at some point as well. I just want to have two passports. I want to give you the European nationality again.
Yes, that was taken away from me.
Actually, you just married
yes.
me for that. Yeah, for
Yes.
convenience. So there's many things that we would want to do in the future, but so far we don't have any plans for this year, right?
No. Well, we'll probably go to Colombia soon. But yeah.
Just to visit.
Just
to visit. Okay, let's see if we have more questions. What time is it? I think we need to finish. Yeah, we are almost finishing this live stream. Thank you. Drop your final questions before we finish this live stream. Thank you very much for being here. Let's see. Can an American citizen immigrate to Mexico and have dual citizenship? How difficult is the immigration process compared to America or Europe?
Well, yes. Yes, there's lots and lots of people with dual citizenship, so it's definitely possible, but you don't need to be a citizen to live somewhere. So you can get a visa for various reasons. So the visa, compared to the US, yeah, it's miles easier. I mean, like we just couldn't live in the US unless one of us got a job. Like, it doesn't matter if you've got lots of money or something, a lot more, even if we had loads more money than we have, like if we're millionaires or something, then we couldn't just go and live in the US. It's just not possible. No.
Why? What do you mean? What?
So, you like here, you can say I have enough money to support myself. I'm rich, so I want to live here.
Yeah.
And then Mexico will say, yeah, that's fine. But that's just not possible in the US.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can't live in the US unless one of us got a job offer. It's just not an option.
Yeah.
So in that way, yeah, it's loads easier. It's very frustrating. It's like a simple process that's made unnecessarily complicated and stressful. But yeah, it's feasible for a lot of people to come and live in Mexico in a way that it's not feasible for people to do the other way around.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, makes sense.
You have another super thanks.
Oh, thank you, Amanda. Gracias, Amanda.
Amanda's asked a question, so I think she wants you to answer that.
Yeah. Okay, Amanda is asking, have you noticed animosity? Yeah, is that the
Animosity?
animosity toward foreigners in Tula, like you might find in the other tourism hotspots? That's a good question, yeah.
No, total indifference. Nobody could care less at all.
Yeah, they don't treat you as a special.
Güero. Just call me Güero and that's it. And maybe after I've seen somebody like 10 times, I'll be like, where are you from? You weird stuff. But yeah, nobody cares at all. It's definitely not gentrified at all in Tula. A little bit of gentrification wouldn't be a bad thing.
You always say that. Yeah, I think. Do you remember the one time that we were walking on the way back home, and a guy, un señor told you, "Well."
Yeah, but he was a drunk, so I understood.
He was drunk.
Yeah, that made sense. But then I didn't tell you, I was walking on my own, and like an old man, I don't think he was drunk, he was walking the other way, and we passed each other, and he just went, "Güero." Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's a bit weird, but it's not animosity at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, most people don't care. They've got more important things to worry about. So.
Yeah. People don't care. Obviously, they directly speak to you in Spanish. No, it's not a cosmopolitan touristy city, so there's no English here. Let's see. Okay. Well, I think we don't have any other. Okay. Yeah, there's one question. What do you recommend is the best way to get into computer programming overall in Mexico?
Well, you need to study it and make stuff with it. And I would say that now with AI, probably don't use AI. I mean, I say that because obviously there wasn't any AI when I was learning, but I think that was probably good. Because now, I'd use loads of AI to do stuff, but I realise that I'm probably missing the opportunity to learn something. Like it's fast, but you don't learn. And I don't know, when I started working, it was a good time to get into the business. I know it's the job market's a bit more difficult now, but yeah, just learn how to do it. There's not much more to it.
The once I moved to Mexico, well, once you have the job, you don't have any problem, no? You could, I mean, in terms of cost of living, it depends where, but I would say that if you want to live in Tula, you can make it with $1,000 per month, right?
Yeah,
a month.
The vast majority of households are living on that or a bit less, probably. So.
Yeah. Well, we don't have any more questions. I think we're going to leave it there because it's been an hour. So it's been very interesting. Thank you very much for joining us, and thank you, Dave, for being here and answer all the questions.
Yes, I'm surprised. Lots of questions. People are interested.
Yeah.
They gave you many.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes. Thank you very much for the super thanks. I appreciate that very much, and see you in the next video or next live stream. Gracias, amor.
Thank you to you for inviting me into your office for a change.
Yeah. Okay. I think people like it.
Okay.
So
I'm going to leave then.
Bueno.
Okay.
Adiós.
Adiós. See you. Bye.